I'm first going to look at you in the impact position because it's the most important. Everything the ball does, how far it goes, how high it goes, how much it spins and curves, is a direct response to the laws of physics in motion at the brief moment of impact. On the left is Tiger hitting an iron. This is video I took at last year's US Open. On the right is Grant Wade hitting a driver. Grant was a PGA Tour player during the 90s and now is one of the top instructors of tour players. Grant's teaching partner is a good friend of mine, Joe Mayo, who lives in Las Vegas. Grant was considered by many as having one of the best and most fundamentally sound golf swings. At impact, they both have the majority of their weight on the left side. In fact, the average pro will have 85 to 90% of their weight on the left side at impact. I've drawn a red box from the center of their ankles to the top of their head, and you can see that the red line off their left foot is passing right through their belt buckle, showing how the center of their mass is right on top of their left foot. They both have extended arms through impact. Their elbows are close together and not separating. Having extended arms and weight forward allows them to control the low point of their arc of their swing. When hitting the iron, this fundamental allows the placement of the low point to be in front of the ball, so that they hit the ball first and then the ground, producing the maximum compression of the golf ball. These fundamentals also allows for the highest level of consistency in controlling the face angle and club path during impact, so that you in turn have the highest level of consistency in hitting whatever optimal ball flight you want. On the left is your swing during the beginning of our full swing review. On the right is Michelle Wie. The purpose of swing analysis is not to change the look of the swing just to make it fit some ideal swing model. The sole purpose is to change the negative ball flight that is impacting your score. Once a ball flight error begins to occur too frequently, you then must identify the part of the player's swing causing the club to be delivered to the ball in the wrong position. In this review, I'm going to look at your swing with a driver. During our 18-hole round, you hit 46% of the fairways. You missed the fairway 7 times, and 6 of those were to the right. After the majority of your drives on par 4s, the remaining distance to the green was greater than 175 yards. Step 1 in the on-target game improvement system is to identify the ball flight error to correct. For your drive, I would like to help you do 3 things. Hit the ball more consistently solid, hit the ball more consistently straight, and hit the ball more consistently further. In order to do those 3 things, you need to make some changes in how you swing the club. But these changes don't require adding complexity to your swing, but just the opposite. Most golfers believe they can't learn the complex swing of the pros, when in reality it is the amateur who has a swing that is too complex. You need to simplify your swing. The correct way to move the club is simpler than the way most amateurs move the club. The correct way to move the club is more effortless and produces more power. Right now you swing way too hard at the ball, but that effort is not creating speed in the club at impact. When you learn this other way to swing the club, you will be able to create speed with less effort. I could look at any player's swing and run through an inventory of all the missing fundamentals in their swing, but that is a totally meaningless exercise. The key to game improvement is to only focus on 1 or 2 things that are the easiest to change that can give you the quickest results. When describing the process of my method of teaching, I like to use the analogy of the old-fashioned radios where you turned a knob to move the needle to the station. There was a big knob to get the needle close to the station, and then there was a smaller knob where you fine-tuned it. Barber, you don't need to work on the more difficult small knob adjustments of a golf swing. You just need to work on a few big knob adjustments. One is to learn how to correctly use your hands when swinging the club, and second is to learn how to finish the swing on your left side. I have drawn a red box from the center of your ankles to the top of your head, and you can see you are in the center of this box. Michelle is more on the left side. The average pro will have 80 to 90% of their weight on their left side at impact. As Michelle continues to the finish, she continues to move more to the left and finishes with her weight right on top of her left foot, and her back foot is on the tip of the toe. Here's Tiger swinging. He also will finish with all his weight on his left side and his back foot on the tip of the toe. Here's MB Park, who lives here in Las Vegas and plays on the LPGA Tour, one of the top players. She also finishes left side, tip of the toe of the back foot. Barbara, you have what is called a reverse weight shift where you finish with your weight on your back foot. This move is costing you distance, accuracy, and consistency. But changing your swing to correctly shift to the left will not be difficult once you are introduced to some simple drills that will reshape your swing. The second thing I said you needed to do was learn how to correctly use your hands when swinging the club. The purpose of moving your body in the backswing is to move the club head around the arc of your golf circle sufficiently far enough away from the ball so that when it starts down and back to the ball, it will have time to build sufficient speed to hit the ball some distance. And ideally, you want to accomplish this with as little effort as possible. On the right is Grant Waite, and let's watch how far his club head travels around his swing arc in relationship to how far his left arm swings. I've stopped him in the 3 position of the golf swing, which is when the left arm is parallel to the ground. Grant made a simple turn of his shoulders and hips without shifting or swaying to the right. His left leg is still in line with the red line, just as it was when it started the backswing. And you can see that he has hinged the club up more than 90 degrees to his left arm. Let's follow your backswing to the 3 position. You do a very good job of not overly shifting or swaying to the right. Yes, you started with your body to the side of the red line at the beginning of the swing, but you didn't move much further away from the line in the backswing, so that is very good. The real difference between you and Grant is how little you move the club up in the air with your hands. At this point in the swing, you haven't stored very much power in your hands. Now let's go to the end of the backswing. You both have turned your shoulders quite a bit. In fact, I would say you've turned your shoulders further than Grant has. But that shoulder turn is not affecting the golf club. And it's the golf club that has to travel further back, not your shoulders. The shoulders is a part of how you get the club further back. But the goal is to get the club further back, not necessarily the shoulders. Not only have you turned your shoulders further, you've also lifted your left arm more than Grant. But power and speed comes from how far the club goes back. The movement of your shoulders and arm contribute to that, but the main way the club gets back is by increasing the angle between the shaft and the left arm through the correct hinging of the wrist. Grant has achieved more wrist hinge with less body movement. He has achieved more power with less effort. The one thing you need to learn is how to correctly hinge your wrist in the backswing. Once you learn this move, you will also be able to gain more club head speed with less effort. And by using less effort in your swing, you will achieve more consistency. On the right is one of your swings during our short session where I had you experimenting with the correct wrist hinge. You can see how much more angle you created. You are very capable of learning this move quickly, and there are some other small swing components that need to be added to this move. But there are drills you can do that will make this easier to learn. By combining this change in how you swing the club with your hands and moving to the left side in your finish, you will experience a new, more dynamic and more powerful swing with less effort. Yes, there is a period of time during the learning phase that you will experience a new and odd feeling. Your subconscious will want to do the old and familiar swing. But even when you swing this new and uncomfortable way, you will still hit many shots better than ever before. And of course, you will also hit some bad shots just like you hit bad shots now. Every golfer will always hit bad shots along with their good shots. But in a short amount of time, after you have repeated this new way enough, the new way will become familiar and replace the old way. Then you won't be distracted by the feeling of the new way. You will own this new swing, and your subconscious will prefer the new way.